Hey everybody, Mr. Youngman here, and today we're going to be taking a very quick look at how to set up the RGB video lights that we have in our classroom. RGB stands for red, green, and blue because with these lights we can change the color. To go ahead and get started, we're going to need 2 Sony batteries, and to attach these to our lights, we're just going to make sure that the holes on the battery, let's see if we're able to see that here, those holes at the bottom of the battery, we just want to make sure that those are facing down. We're going to slot them onto these little pins right here on our video light. So just sliding those right on down, and that will click into place here. We'll do the same on the other side, and let's see if we can maybe get a closer view of that action happening. And that will click right into place there. Once we have those batteries on, we can go ahead and open the barn doors, just like so. And that will open up our light here. On the back side of our video light, we do have a power switch right over, let's see if we can get a good view. A power switch right here underneath the right-hand battery. And this flips in 2 different directions. If you flip it one way, it will use wall power, and you'll see it doesn't come on because I just am using batteries right now. But if I flip that to the other direction here, just like that, our light will turn on. Now, a real quick note, these hinges are kind of moving on me, so we can just tighten those down by using this tab on the side, and that will lock our light in place once it is on the stand. Now, right now, this light is incredibly bright and is at a 100 brightness setting. If we take this dial on the left and we start rotating that, you'll see that number gets smaller and smaller and smaller until it hits 0. The lower the number, the less bright the light becomes. But you'll see that we have a couple different dials here. This light on, or this dial on the right here, is going to be used for changing the color of the light. And I'll try not to blind us here as I'm demonstrating this. But if we start turning that dial, you'll see that this becomes a lot more yellow. And again, I'm just trying to avoid blinding us, not shining this directly at the light or at the camera here, but we're able to make this a little bit more blue or a little bit more yellow. But in addition to that, if we press that dial in, then this will go into color mode. And we're going to be able to change the hue of the color. You'll see right now it's blue. And we're just changing that, or turning that same dial that we were using before in order to change the color of this light. And you'll see now we're a little bit more pink, and we can just kind of keep rotating through until we find a nice color that we want to use. When we're using lights like this, it's really, really important that we use more than one light at any given time. If we're only lighting our scene with a purple light, then that's something we might as well do in editing. Honestly, it will look better. But once we start combining more than one light, we get 2 lights in a scene, 3 lights in a scene, then using color starts to make a lot of sense because they kind of pop off of each other and look better when you combine them. So that is our color mode here. If we press that dial again, we'll switch to the saturation setting of that color mode. And you'll see that it has labeled saturation right there, or SAT. And if we change that dial, that same one we were using before, the right-hand dial, you'll see that this becomes more white as we scroll to the left and becomes more colorful as we scroll to the right. So this allows us to really kind of fine-tune what our light is going to look like. And then if we press it down one more time, it goes back to that normal daylight tungsten mode that we saw earlier, where it can only do kind of more yellow light or more daylight light. And that's kind of our normal operating mode. Now finally, to attach one of these lights onto the light stand, we do have this connector at the bottom here. This works just like the other lights that we've used in here. We'll loosen this down until it can fit onto a light stand, and then we're just going to tighten that dial all the way down and give our light a firm little shake just to make sure it is not going anywhere. Once we're done using our light, we're going to want to close down those barn doors. And we're going to want to make sure we turn that light off. Just again, using that power switch that we saw earlier right here. So flipping that to the off position. I'm going to loosen those hinges on the side to make sure that this can lay flat. And to take those batteries off, we're just going to lift them straight on up. And that will get them right off of the light for us. And then we are all set. We can turn this back in. We turn in those batteries so we can get them charged up for the next students or the next class. That's going to do it for this one. I know this is a little bit different of a style than I usually like to do for my videos, but I hope this has been informative, and I will see you all back in class. Bye now.